Hi, yes, one of the most expense that we spent in 2013 was this D3200 Nikon, which is the latest model in the Nikon entry-level camera. And since I'm new to DSLR and this has a video, so far I've been very pleased with this camera. I feel like I got my money's worth for what it does. You know, I picked this camera because I had lenses already for it, but I was pleasantly pleased at how great this camera can do once you get it set up correctly, once you learn what settings it is. I had some examples of what this camera can do online. If you could see what's a Nikon D3200 on some of my previous videos, you'll see. But this camera is awesome entry-level camera. You know, it's not no professional camera. It's made for people who, like me, who going over from a point and shoot to a DSLR. I had a great video camera, but I wanted a DSLR video camera, and for it would take great pictures and do that. I bought this camera basically because it had a 24.2 megapixel cam sensor in it, and I've heard that sensor is made by Sony, and I basically wanted a Sony camera, so if this got a Sony sensor in it, the video should be awesome, and which it was. I was blown away by the video, how clear it was, how I could set it in manual or automatic, how I could focus wide with videoing. All of these features for an entry-level camera. The D3200, it really stepped it up for an entry-level camera. The 3100 would never do all of that for nothing in this world, and that's one of the reasons I would never buy that 3100. You know, I'm always researching, going to Amazon to see what kind of ratings something has before I buy it, and try to make myself an informed decision. If I'm going to spend over $100, I'm going to find out what everybody else has to say about something. And I hope this video is helping somebody else about some purchases that they want to do or they want to buy. And, you know, may save them some money, or may say that's for me, or may say no, that's not for me. But this D3200 is a great camera, a great camera. The D5200 is better because it has the swivel out, you know, viewfinder, and if you shooting low, you can't see the camera. But I made something that where I could see it at a 90 degrees angle by putting a dollar mirror on the bottom of it, bending it at a 45-degree angle, and bolting it onto the mount, and that worked perfectly for me. You know, when I want to shoot low. I'm not saying it's the professional looking stuff, but it gets the job done. So this Nikon 35, and you know, I wasn't really considering a Nikon, but I'm growing on this brand name. You know, I had all of the Nikon 35mm Pentax and all that back in the day before digital camera came. I had done wedding videos and all of that. But now that the digital world, you know, everybody's going to that. You know, it's definitely a lot cheaper to process. So I'm buying this camera as entry level to get better at one of my craft. I want to go back into the wedding video, but I want to use this camera to practice on it. My future camera is going to be a Canon 5 Mark D or whatever is better in the $3,000 range by the time I'm ready to buy, because, you know, I'll be doing a lot of shopping around. By that time, maybe the Mark 5 is used or something. You know, I'm looking at probably another year, this time next year, maybe doing that by the time I really learn, you know, what this camera can and cannot do. So far, I've been very pleased with this Nikon and Nikon brand. So Canon may lose out, and I get a D700 or something. You know, I'm hearing a lot of good things about those full frame sensor cameras, and I may stay in the Nikon lineup, you know, because simply I'm going to be buying better glass later on. I'm going to be buying, and I don't want to be buying two different glasses, you know, for two different kinds of cameras. So I'm going to stick with one or the other. And so far the Nikon has proven itself. You know, it may have a loyal fan in the future. It may. You know, Canon holds its own. And I was thinking about getting a Sony because I like the electronic viewfinder where you can see what you're doing while you're holding up the camera. A lot of people don't like that electronic viewfinder, but I don't think they know enough about it to say one way or another. But from what I'm reading, that's the wave of the future. That's the wave of the future, is the electronic viewfinder. So, because you can see what you're adjusting, the viewfinder adjusts as well as you're taking the pictures, and that's what you want to see before you snap and waste time, you know, making an adjustment, looking at the screen 2 seconds later. You know, that can make the difference of getting a shot and not, while you're sitting there looking, something else happening, and you miss the shot because you're looking at the screen. So I think the electronic viewfinder is going to be the wave of the future. And the mirrorless, that's going to be the wave of the future as well, you know. People, you know, I don't like all that clicking, ticking, and all that kind of stuff that's unnecessary for a digital camera. You know, especially, you know, so I try to get this thing as quiet as I can, especially when I'm doing video. But the Nikon D3200 is a recommended buy for an entry-level photographer. If you're coming from a point and shoot like I was, going to digital. You know, I know a little bit about the old cameras. You know, I took wedding photography with that, and that helped me with a lot of this on this digital. But I still have a lot to learn. And I appreciate YouTube teaching me a lot, you know, on digital cameras. And I hope this video will help somebody else learn a little more, and we all learn together. So thank you for watching. Another thing I bought in 2013, I bought this Sony 24.1 megapixel. It's a HDR-PJ710. Great camera, 17 zoom, a floating thing, so when you're walking, it stabilizes. Awesome camera. I bought it from Best Buy. It was a open box, and I'm always looking for open box because you can get some deals. I got it for $6.99, which this camera sold for, I think, $9.99 to $1,100 at the time. So I bought the camera and been very pleased with it. But I went on Amazon the other day to see, you know, what everybody was saying about this camera. Come to find out that the price of this camera has went up to about $1,500. They really jumped the price on it. So they must have realized how great it was, how good it was. Now that everybody gotten used to the floating lens here, that shaking around, making a little noise until it comes on. You know, you just need to read up on that. And I love how this has the projector that can project on the wall. I had this thing Thanksgiving, with video and Thanksgiving, then all of a sudden it came on the wall and they was amazed. Had such a great time, you know, looking at everybody, looking at the pictures immediately on the wall. That was just a thrill to see their faces, seeing this video on the wall and the pictures that we took. And this thing has an awesome camera mode, and it's got a 24.1 camera, and the camera takes 99.9% DSLR camera quality pictures. It was an awesome, it does awesome pictures on it. I love this little camera. And you know, the only thing I don't like about it, when you're taking pictures, is a little awkward. But other than that, it's great. It's great. I like it, the fact that it's got manual focus here, and I like the fact that you can go into the access and change the shutter speed, change the aperture, change the exposure, put it on full manual, and just set it to what you want it to do. Brighten it up, lower it down, very good in low light. It also it can see in the dark really, because it has an infrared night vision in it. You turn this thing, the screen turns green, and you can see everything at night. It's the night vision, so there's no such thing as not getting the shot. You'll get the shot, but you know, you might have to deal with the green background from the night vision. But going on to the low level, it's between not getting it at all. If you had another camera, you wouldn't be able to see anything with a certain amount of low light. But this thing here, just about to see in the dark, even without the night vision. I love that it has its own USB cable that plugs into the side of the thing. Stay out of the way, neat. That's a great feature in it. And another feature I like about it, it has a built-in microphone. It has also a built-in headphone jack, stereo mic, and it also has 5.1 surround sound mics. So it's got a surround sound, 5.1 surround sound mic, and you can either change it to the two mics, the stereo mic, or just however way the mic input will recognize what kind of mic you're sticking in there. If you're putting a stereo mic in it, you're putting a 5.1 mic, or just whatever kind of mic you're sticking in. Or you can get an external digital mic, boom mic from Sony to go over here. But their accessories are a little high for me, so I just stick with mine. Plug it in here and put it over to the side. So this is one of the cameras, video cameras, that I upgraded in 2013. So a nice buy that I bought in 2013. I am very, very pleased with this buy. If you're thinking about a video camera, Sony, you know, if you ever go to the NFL football games, the only video camera you're going to see 99% of the time is the Sony brand. So take it from the pros, and you see how good quality the videos are on the professional $100,000 camera. Now, this don't compare to that, but for what I'm paying for it and what I'm getting out of this camera, I definitely got my money's worth. And I think that's why Sony went up on all these cameras. Went up, you know, $300 to $400 on it. That's a pretty big jump. You know, usually stuff get old, they go down. But you know, I've never seen a product go up. But it's still worth whatever they got the price on it. I would expect, now that I know about this camera, to pay at least $2,500 for this camera. So if that thing jump up to $2,500, it's well worth it, because the internal mechanisms and the stuff that you can do to it, and the long life that you get out of this little battery. I can get at least 2 hours. After I fully charge this battery, I can video this thing for at least 2 hours. Definitely an hour and 45 minutes, because I use it every Sunday, and this battery, you know, stays alive. Most of the time I plug it up though, but I have went without the power source, and it went the whole service on just that one battery, and that's saying something there. But I do, if you do a lot of shooting now, you know, of course you're going to have to get an extra battery. But this one had done so good, I never even thought about buying another battery. So it's done great for me, for what I needed it for. The Sony HANDYCAM camera is great, steady shot camera. Steady your shot from the viewfinder here, and just find out, you know, it floats. Let me see if I can get that to do that. You see how it moves with me? I'm not sure if I'm getting that. I'm doing this on this DSLR and can't see. Alright. Have a great day. This is Ted.